It's a lovely good afternoon, and thank you for joining us in another exciting edition of Visionary Corner right here on Millennium TV. Yes, we keep them coming. We uncover dreams on Visionary Corner. This is a program that is proudly sponsored by Mount Mary Millers in conjunction with Molly Kumar, a woman who saw it fit that stories are told, people are inspired, and people get to start their journey in life with a bit of encouragement and a push from people that have stories that are inspiring. I'm your host, Rebecca Gombe. Do you remember we're coming to you live and direct from our Longacre studios? You are catching us live on your top study coders, channel 95, and we're streaming live on Facebook. We are Millennium TV Zambia. Simply like the page, follow the page, and get interactive. And of course, in case you want to have a link to some of the guests that we have, do stay glued, because we always keep the info on our Facebook page. So you can simply follow our guests on their private pages and just get to ask them further questions, because I know when you get inspired, you obviously want to have a contact with the person that has inspired you and probably just get a few notes on how life should be and how you should carry yourself as you take on your journey. As always, we have another exciting guest. Somebody I follow, and I will tell you that if you haven't started following her yet, I don't know what you're doing, because she is an inspiration. She is a model, she is a designer, she is a fitness awareness person, and she is also, as she calls herself, Indian diabetic. But I'm talking about Kaajal Vaghela. Hi.
What an introduction. Thank you, Rebecca.
How are you?
I'm really good, thank you. I'm feeling blessed. Thank you.
I'm actually honored to have you.
I'm
very honored. And like I said off camera, and I kept on telling you, I said, ever since I started following you, I really take, serious caution in certain things I do, because I normally used to take my eating habits like, it's okay, I can miss breakfast, I can miss lunch, it's okay. But then certain things started happening, and I was like, what's this? This is new. And because I did not know, and I did not have the knowledge, it was okay, it's okay, it happens, probably go away. But having to come across your videos on YouTube and learning a lot more about how to take care of myself, I then realized it's not just about, I need to drink water, I need to do this, and it's a lot more about being aware of what's happening with yourself. 100%. Having said that, please tell us, who is this beautiful woman, away from TikTok, away from YouTube, away from Instagram? Who is Vaghela?
My name is Kaajal. It means eyeliner in Indian, so I'm Gujarati, and I'm 3 generations in Africa. So my grandfather came from India, Mozambique. My dad was born in Mozambique. He set up business in Zambia. City Clothing Factory is my family business, if you know. And then there's me, and I've built my own clothing range. I worked at my dad's factory, and I'm a diabetic of 35 years.
Okay.
So I'm going to say it on live TV. I clocked 40 2 weeks ago.
Oh, okay.
And I know.
Thank you.
We're going to have a party here. I was for the longest time a bit scared to say my age, and I said I'd never ask a woman her age. But then I just thought, no, we're aging gracefully. And I always look at my diabetes as a blessing, because if I didn't have it, I wouldn't be as healthy as I am today. And so, when you're younger and you look at like photos of people when they're 40, you're like, I don't feel it. It's just on my NRC.
No, you don't look 40.
I don't feel it.
You walked in here and I'm like, probably I think she's 20 something. Let's just be honest. I think everyone out there is thinking the same thing.
Well, I have the energy of a 20-year-old, so that's just me. But that comes from lifestyle. It comes from the way I've eaten and the things you followed online. So I'm trying to stay away from the online stuff. This is just my ethos in life. I've grown up in a very big fat Indian family. Yeah. We've eaten healthy. My mom looks young, my dad's very energetic, so I think I've got a combination of those. I've got both good genetics and good energy. So I'm like a little energetic 20-year-old in this body. And because I've done so well with exercise and food and mindset as well, it's you believe what you tell yourself. And so I apart from being a diabetic, I run an embroidery department at my dad's factory. But then I've used that to build a clothing range. So initially I used to make suits at Chitenge. This is about 10, 12 years ago, before it was a fashion thing. Everyone's doing it now. And then I moved to making sportswear. But the sportswear is actually Chitenge print, which I design.
I saw that.
I didn't want
beautiful.
to. Thank you.
Beautiful.
I felt like, coming from a family business that's got a legacy of clothing Zambians for 60 years, why should we be outsourcing to the East, especially not just manufacturing, but our designs, like our chitenge. And I'm a really colorful, creative person. So during the pandemic, I got stuck in the UK, and I was like, "What do I do with all this energy on me?" And so I taught myself how to do graphic design. And when I got to Kamala and different places, I'd look at different fabrics. And so I started recreating my own fabrics. So every single piece that I sell is all made like from scratch by me. It gets made abroad because we don't have the manufacturing here, but every design is designed by me. And I believe that I'm a third generation Zambian here who is just trying to build our ethos, our culture. Like I'm a big believer in our cultural values. And even the clothing that I do, the sportswear, goes up to 6XL because again, in kameez of color, we have shape.
We have shape, yes.
We have shape. And the thing is, especially when it comes to diabetes as well, people think obesity. So there's this all mix going on. And I thought, you know what? No, I'm a wellness person. Like I am the embodiment of wellness. And if you come from a community of color. So whether you're Indian, whether you're Zambian, whether you're Arab, whether you're Hispanic, we're all gonna have curves. But it's being the healthy curve. And the thing is, a lot of people who are on the, I'd say, positive side, they don't feel comfortable enough to even start the exercise journey because they don't have clothes that celebrate them. And so that's why I was like, if I can create chitenge print sportswear that goes up to 6XL, the woman who wants to start her journey in health and try and get healthier because maybe she's pre-diabetic, maybe she has PCOS, there's something that's going on in our communities which we don't talk enough about. If we can talk about it in a fun way through our clothes, and you go out and be like, oh, this is made by a Zambian whom I love and trust, and it clings onto my body in the right ways. I really want to go and exercise, and I want to make myself healthier because it's not just for us; it's for another generation. So that's me in a nutshell, I guess. A very big nutshell.
Moving on, obviously we wanted to focus more on the diabetic part because, like you said, you don't look 40. Let's just be honest. And I know everybody here and the entire crew agrees with me when I say she doesn't look 40. So tell us the time you actually discovered to say, oh, I'm actually diabetic. That part of your life, what really changed in you, and how did that journey start for you?
So I was 5. I don't remember too much because I was very young. But it happened when my sister was getting married. And so we traveled to the UK. My sister was studying and living there at the time. And big family wedding, everyone's together. But my mum noticed I wasn't playing with my cousins. I was just like holding onto her sari. I was just very irritable. And you know, a mother's intuition is very strong. Very strong. And she's like, this is not my child. Because growing up, I'm a happy-go-lucky child. I go chat to everyone. I'm just like, here I am. And suddenly I'm not doing that. And they took me to the doctors, but because that type 1 diabetes has a honeymoon phase, so there's 2 types of diabetes. The type that we see now on TV and in our community usually, and lifestyle-based, is type 2, which is reversible. Whereas type 1, which is the autoimmune condition, it just happens. We still don't know what happens. That's what happened to me. So it's not in my family. There's no other type 1 diabetic in my family. So only one. So it was, people just didn't know. And this is, imagine, 35 years ago. So the fact that we don't have information now and how we would have felt back then, no WhatsApp, no internet, no, like, what do you do? Luckily, we were in the UK. But the thing is, even the doctors there couldn't diagnose me. Because of that honeymoon phase, what's happening is, according to the tests, my pancreas is working fine, the part that's making the insulin. But the effect of not having consistent insulin, because it's like sputtering. You know when you're driving a car and it's right at the end, it's just, that's what the pancreas is doing, it's sputtering. So according to the tests, it's fine.
It's okay.
But according to human, my mom's like, she's not okay. Like, she's irritable, she's losing weight, she's drinking lots of water. So they couldn't diagnose me. So then we came back to Zambia, and my mom was dressing me. I used to go to Inkwazi school, so she put my uniform on me. And when she put my underwear on me, I mean, I was 5, 6 years old, it would just fall off because I was so bony, I just lost so much weight. And then even at night time, like, I would leave my bed. These are all symptoms of diabetes. So she'd say, come into my bed. And you know, as a mom, like, she's going to hold you like this. And she says, I would feel your hip bones. She's like, I fed you as a child. Every mom is going to feed their child. But she said, why has my child lost so much weight? So then we went to South Africa and immediately, and this is what I like about South Africa, they're very, hands-on.
Yeah.
No offense to any, healthcare systems, but they just straight away put me on insulin. And my mom noticed a huge change in me. I was playing, I was happy-go-lucky, I was eating. I went back to my original self. The only thing I remember, so this is the story I know from my mom.
From mom's
and
side.
from at the wedding time, like I didn't want to. I know I just didn't want to play with my husband. I was just like, ew. But it's one thing I do remember is when they were giving me the injections in South Africa. This is a very strong memory of mine. I've put it on some of my Instagram videos. The nurse would stab me. And that time the needles were quite big. And that's the thing, even here we have big needles. They don't give the small ones. And if you're a small person or you're a child, you need like a tiny needle.
One.
And it's not the syringe one. We've moved on to pens now.
Pens, yeah.
And I remember the nurse just stabbing me in the leg, and I remember I didn't know what to say or do, because at the end of the day, you're 5. You've been put into hospital, there's authority figures around you, you don't question it.
Yeah.
And once the nurse left, I looked at my mom and I showed her my thighs, and like, it hurts. And I remember clearly blue and green bruises, like 5, 6 on each leg. So I remember watching my mom say to the nurse, can you show me how to give the injections, because every time you inject her, you're bruising her. And since then, like, my mom has been like my ride or die, she's been there with everything. She's been my nurse, and my mom always wanted to become a nurse. I said, Mom, you didn't specify to God which one you wanted. You said nurse. Yeah. You didn't say in a hospital. So I remember from then, everything was quite regimented. But I also say, like, as a 5-year-old or a 6-year-old, you don't know any different.
Yes.
So if you've been told your break time is sandwiches and half an apple, it's always been very organic, because again, 35 years ago, Zambia didn't have debonaires or any of the fast food joints. I didn't have my first piece of French fry until I was 21. Yeah. I didn't have any French fries until I was 21.
I know a lot of them in here had it.
But I mean, I don't know any different. So I was eating fresh apples from the mamas who sell on the street, or you get from the market. The only time I realized I was I won't say struggling, because you're not. I always believe that children are so resilient. You give them a certain thing, they work with it. They might have a little temper tantrum here and there, but they work with what they have.
They're okay with it.
Yeah.
This tiny person, yeah.
I found that when I went to my new school, so in Kwazi I was still quite young, but I went to the international school later, and I found that there I couldn't. You're obviously trying to make friends with everyone, the new people, and they're like, "Oh, let's share our break," and suddenly I'm like, I can't. And I didn't understand why until I realized, I'm like, no, but this is what I'm supposed to eat. And I remember one time I did share a break, and I think my sugars went high, and it was just not something I could have eaten. And I just learned quickly, I'm like, okay, just stick to it, And then as I got older as well, just certain times where there was like a friend's birthday party, and my mom had to explain to the mother, because my mom didn't know what was going to be there, like crisps, biscuits, things like that. And I was never told I could eat that. I was just given a very regimented diet, which was very natural, which is my blessing. But imagine going to a party, mom's going to leave you alone. First time you're alone, really. So I remember watching her talk to the mom, say, this is what she's allowed to eat, this is I've packed her sandwiches. So you go to a party with packed sandwiches, and I could see the other kids looking at me, wondering why the mom's given food. And at that moment, you don't understand it, but you're just like, why are they looking at me? Why does it? But the feeling was, I feel different. And as I got older, did I really recognize, okay, actually there is something different about me, but it doesn't mean that I'm wrong or I'm bad. But as a child, you kind of you internalize it. You feel like something might be wrong with me. But really, what I've learned over time is, and I've learned to articulate it, is others don't know, so they will judge. And children will be children. So that's been my growth at the time from when I was first diagnosed.
Obviously, being diabetic and obviously type 1, this meant that your body, even as you grew, was changing in a different way. There's like the change that we all see, oh, she's gaining, or she's doing this, she's doing that. But because you had a strict diet, you were following a specific type of food, it changed in a different way. Do you mind sharing that as well?
So, for me, my growth was more mental than body. So I've actually eaten pretty much the same thing most of my life, to be honest. I mean, when you're a teenager, you want to go and try different things, whether it's food, whether it's alcohol, whether it's just eating at different times to what the family unit does. Those things change. But I think inherently I've always known my capacity.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll always know, like at lunchtimes, it's from an Indian diet, like 2 chapatis,
Mm-hmm.
a curry, some rice. But then I'm like, I can't have potato curry because that's potatoes, rice, and chapati. I naturally blend it anyway because I am the one who's going to feel the effects later, like through numbers. Like, something's going to tell me whether it's a finger prick or now the new sensor. It's going to. Back then we didn't have sensors.
Yeah.
I know even if I want to eat extra, either I take the extra unit, but am I going to know what it's going to do to my body, or do I just stick to what I know? So I've always had no mindset over my body. So a lot of times when my sugars are high and I'm hungry, it's the worst feeling because you're like, I can't eat, but my sugars are high.
Yeah.
And the other way around, you may have eaten a full meal, but maybe it's full of, let's just say, fat. Like it's a hearty meal, but the sugars are now low. And you're like, I have to eat again. So I think my body really only changed. How do I say? I've had 2 moments where I've had body issues, but that's because of mindset. One when I was about 16, 17. Everyone at that time looking in the magazines or online, skinny Caucasian girls, so you're like, I want to be skinny because that's what's cool, that's what people like, and you're like, okay. Again, I'm also impressionable as well, so human being. We all are impressionable. Especially when you're a 16-year-old, you're the only diabetic around. You want to fit in. Again, I've done all this processing more recently now, but at that time, if you get a positive result from looking a certain way, you're going to continue doing that. But you don't know whether it's healthy or not. So, for example, I had a lot of puppy fat. At 13, my mom fed me and I was like puppy fat. That's what happens. But then at some point, you're like, oh, I want to be skinny. So I remember exercising was always healthy for me. But then I started excessively exercising. And then if I was eating, I wouldn't say I would reduce. I would definitely not eat any fats. But I would eat like maybe porridge and then not eat anything later. So what I would do is I would eat less and exercise more. But I didn't realize that it would have such a profound effect on my body because basically the liver does a job of always giving extra glucose in the background. Now imagine I've got no background glucose in my liver and I end up having a diabetic fit. So like I have epilepsy, have fits, I had that, and I just thought, this is just to be cool. I should not be playing with my life like this. I didn't think this at the time, but I just knew I can't do this. If I'm curvy, I'm curvy. And that's where I learned that we need to learn to love ourselves, especially communities of color, because we have curves. But if everything online is telling you to be skinny, where is the line between knowing you and wanting to be accepted? So that was one time where I actually lost a lot of weight. More recently now, I think it's just because of age. I'm gaining a little bit around my tummy, but it's not so much.
Can't see it. I didn't see it today.
This is why we were in the blazer. But I also celebrate that as well because I don't want to be like a toothpick. We all want to have some sort of curves, but like nice curves. And if you can make those curves stronger in the gym, then it's muscle and not fat. Because also when you have like a wide waistline, that's also increasing your risk of diabetes or other insulin resistance. So even though I'm type 1 diabetic, other things can happen. But I mean, more than anything, I think it's been mindset and being really strict with my thoughts around food.
I know that you talked about now that there's what we call sensors, the patches. But before then, did you ever have a point where, it kind of disturbed your meeting? Let's say you're having a show, you seated, you're in a meeting, and then you go like, boom, it's happening now.
Plenty times. Like even like earlier on, just before coming on set, like before the thing beat, I could already feel myself feeling a little, I'm not fully there, so I always keep a bottle of Fanta or Coke or something, like a sugar something next to me. But again, it has to be resealable because it's so easy to drink the whole bottle. It happens all the time. Like before the sensors, what I pride myself on with my body and really listening and feeling my body, my intuition is very strong. I can feel a low blood sugar because I'm a very fast thinker. I'm a high functioning performance individual. So suddenly I'm just slowing down and I'm like, what am I trying to say? I know my sugars are dropping because I can think a lot of ideas within a minute. And suddenly I'm like, that sentence is taking a bit longer. Then I'm like, wait, hold on. And I suddenly feel a little bit of a dip in energy, but it's not a dip like, oh my God, I'm tired. It's like, I can be tired but still want to do things. My brain is always functioning. But when the brain starts slowing down, then I'm like, no, it's a low blood sugar. Happens in the middle of the night as well. Not that I need my brain in the middle of the night, but I can feel like a whirring feeling in my chest.
In your chest,
So even before the sensors, I think back then we had finger pricks. But because I've been diabetic for almost 20 to 25 years at that point in time, your body is trained to understand the signals. So I've had low blood sugars, I've had really high blood sugars when suddenly I'm like, I'm really thirsty, and I'm like, oh. And the best way to describe it is, imagine the blood in your body is like honey. So imagine the honey is trying to go into the brain, trying to make thoughts. It's like, it's slow. And then your heart's like, oh, it's slow. So it's almost like I can visualize every organ in my body because I've been diabetic for so long. I can feel each one saying, like each cell is like, bro, what are we doing? Like, we really can't move right now. I can feel that already. I don't know where I am in the high blood sugar, but I will be higher. And I know I'll burn it off pretty quickly afterwards. So in a meeting, in the middle of, like my brother got married recently, in the middle of the wedding, I can feel the low blood sugar happening. So quickly, while everyone's saying their vows, I've got my little packet of sweets and I'm eating it quietly, but I won't stop because I need to survive. But I didn't even need to check my blood to know that. So I think it's just years of training and just really feeling your body and trusting it to say it's giving you a signal. It doesn't mean that it's dying. It's on the way to going one way or another, and it's giving you a signal. It's up to you to help you at that time. It's like it's a little child saying, "Mom, can you help me?
Can you help me now?
That's what it is.
I need help."
And you have to be your own mother for that.
Was it the same strategy you used on the runway? Because being a model also it means you're on the runway, lights are on, the slow music is playing, there's people around.
So it's funny because only recently have I become a little bit more vocal about being diabetic, especially on my socials. But I did a big campaign for Qatar Airways 2-3 years ago, and I'm actually going to redo the video because when I was there on set, they sent us to the Maldives. Now we're on another side of the world. Haven't slept on the plane. Timings for insulin are completely off, and then suddenly you have to be camera ready. And I had to say, okay, guys, when do you need me? They need me on a Sunday. This is now Saturday. I said, I need to sleep. And most people are out, they're having ice cream, talking to everyone. You're going to the Maldives. You want to have the most experience out of it. But I said, I can't be there for everyone if I'm not there for myself. So until I slept, until I put my foot down and said, guys, I can't eat at the time you guys are eating, I need to do this, I had to steward my own body for anything else. So then when I was on set, 6 o'clock in the morning, putting makeup, etc., I had to keep checking my bloods to make sure, okay, have I got snacks on me? Because in the middle of filming, you're not going to stop to say, hold on, I need to run to the room to go and collect what it is I need. Everything I have to, there's a lot of things you have to think about. So in your little backpack, like how I have today, my sweets, my juice, my little muesli bar, all these things have to be packed like the night before or a couple of hours before shooting. Always had it at all my shoots. And a lot of times when everyone's like, okay, we haven't eaten, we're now, on set with 3 glasses of champagne in us. And oh guys, I can't do that. Like my body is telling me I cannot do what you see on TV. That's not sustainable. That's not real. And if you want to still be alive to do this life the way you want to, you have to be healthy about it. So that's what I'm saying. Like the diabetes for me, I will never see it as a negative thing. It's this little angel on my shoulder saying, yeah, I'm a bit strict on you at times, but we're going to get this right. So yeah, there's been plenty of times when the sugars have dropped because of being on the runway or on shoot, because again, it's adrenaline. So you feel excited and you think, okay, my sugars are high. But what will happen is that's the body shooting out extra glucose to get you to do things. But then that's just like a fake glucose. It's not really real. It's from the liver. And then as soon as you kind of calm down, it'll drop. So for all those kinds of exciting moments, you have to keep everything on you, extra insulin, extra juice, extra all sorts of things, because you just don't know which way it'll go.
Let's talk about the patch.
It's been such a lifesaver, honestly.
I look at it and I'm like, how is she doing that? I see there's like a needle, right?
So
and then you okay. Well, it's because me and needles,
so it's not as bad as you think it is.
What
it is
and that's what I want you to really dwell on.
It's not so bad. It's a plastic catheter that goes into the skin, and then blood goes in and out. So it's a real-time reading. So when you do a finger prick, it's telling you your blood sugar right now. Whereas this, because the blood's going in and out of this little plastic, it's like a little straw, but tiny. Because it's giving that reading. It's always a real-time, not necessarily a real-time reading. There's movement, so it's maybe slightly delayed because it's not actually in your blood. It's in something called the interstitial tissue. It's just above underneath the skin, above the blood.
Skin, yeah.
So there's a slight delay. But you use it for pattern searching. Whereas like if I finger prick now, let's just say I was 5, and then in 4 hours I'm at 16, I wouldn't know what's happened between now and 4 hours later. Like, was it the stress? Was it because I drank too much Fanta when my blood sugars dropped? Is it because I had a reaction of some sort? I don't know.
You don't know.
Yeah, maybe I ate something and I forgot about it. Whereas if you have the sensor, that's where the mechanics of it, it shows it as a graph on your phone. So you can actually see what's happened in the last 4 hours, and then potentially it gives an arrow to say where it's going to go in the next 4 hours. So then you kind of have an idea every day after 9 in the morning when I eat a slice of bread, this is what happens to my liver. So you know what's happening. We didn't have this technology back then.
No.
The technology was just listening to your body and how you feel. So what it is it's a little white patch. Like it's very white. I can show it to you.
I've seen how you do it. You know, like I said, I follow you. So most of the time when you're doing it, and I'm like, let me. How courage is courageous.
So it's just there.
Oh, nice.
And what we do is usually the phone is there's a sensor, like a Bluetooth sensor going on, but because of the distance, sometimes it doesn't.
So it's actually connected to your phone.
Yeah. So then you do that. Okay, it's paused because now. So it's saying it's paused. So right now, only because there's so much movement. So just that was the low blood sugar.
Wow.
I had a really low blood sugar earlier, so that's why I had the Fanta.
That's why you took the Fanta before we started.
Yeah, but thing is, now, because I've had so much glucose, now I'm excited on set. The body's like, there's so much going on with the bloods. That's why I'm saying it's paused until it gets to a middle number where it actually give me a number. Because right now it's there's too many things happening in the blood at the moment. Yeah, it says 10 minutes, so maybe by the end of this we'll have a number. But I already know. I know.
This is good. This is nice.
I'm such a tech and AI and innovation person anyway. But the thing is, because I've done this for so long, I'm like, this is just an added tool. I know if I have a juice or any sort of sweet drink, it'll spike. It has to spike because that's just the process of glucose. But after 15 minutes or so, it'll start to settle down. So that's why it doesn't know, because it's like it spiked, it's gonna settle, there's too much going on. The thing is, if you're a new diabetic and using this now, you wouldn't know that. I have 20 years of that experience to say I've done this before, a sensor even told me.
So I'm
OG with this.
It's done, it's out there.
So I'm not even stressed. Like if there's no reading, it's fine. I'm here, I'm talking, my brain isn't functioning, I'm okay. By the time I walk out, etc., it'll burn off. So, how the sensor works is basically there's a little catheter, but in order for the catheter to go in, there's a needle. So when you put the 2 bits together, it's like loading a gun. That's why I say I feel quite Angelina Jolie about it. Put the bits together, put in the arm, and it injects. That's the skin. It injects this way both the catheter and the needle goes through. Now the needle will come back out. The needle's only needed to puncture. So it's like a stapler, and then the needle comes out. And that stays in, and this needle comes out this way. So it's a concealed needle the whole time. So the needle is only about that big, but the thing is, it's just to inject, and then it comes out. And then underneath your skin, it's like the length of my nail. That's how big the catheter is. So it's not so scary.
I love how you do it. You make it look so easy. You make it look so easy.
Well, I need to do it. If I don't, I mean.
And I know there's the wiping pads, like, do you need to wipe it off? Is it the alcohol swab? What is it called?
These companies, they used to give us alcohol swabs and now they don't. So they just said, you know what, to make things easier, because some people react to alcohol. Sometimes it affects the adhesive to stick on your skin. Everyone's got different types of textures of skin.
True.
So, I mean, I've used another sensor before and it didn't stay on my skin at all. This one that I use sticks on like a glove. But some people say this one doesn't stick on, so there's extra stickers you put on top. So in order to prep the skin, they just say just wash it with water and soap. But just make sure there's no soap left, there's no residue. And like, I find the most frustrating part is, especially when the sensors run out in the middle of the night, and I've put one in the morning, after I come out the shower, that's probably the best time to put it on. But because of mechanics in my head and my routines I do, I'm like, I just put my body cream on, my spray, and then I'm like, I need to now go and wipe it again. So the best time if you are changing is when you've just come out of a shower, and then you have to rest your arm, because again, lots of blood, you don't want to puncture yourself, and then there's like blood coming out. So there's little things as you learn and you go along and find the best way that works best for you.
Yeah. You're a designer, you're into modeling. Now there's the wellness part of you that I feel is the strongest part. Have you ever felt like you're being torn apart? Like, I need to be here, I need to be there, I need to do this? Because also, the wellness part you talk about, this is you offering service to 1,000 and millions of people out there. And there are people that are literally depending and waiting for you to just post so they can learn one or two things.
You know what? I don't feel like I'm... Initially, I felt like I was being torn apart, but actually I don't think so. I actually think the wellness was actually the glue all along. The diabetes was the glue all along. But it's almost like I've done it in reverse. So I first started with modeling because I wanted to show the world and show myself that diabetes shouldn't stop me. But I didn't do it because of diabetes to the world. To me, I did. To me, I'm like, I'm not going to let this thing stop me. I'm going to live a very normal life. So what did I show the world? A very normal life, almost a fantastical life. Because I'm like, the diabetes was so strict on me. I'm like, okay, so if it's this strict and maybe this good, then let's have a very good life. So I started with that. And then I went into the clothing, mainly because I enjoy it. But number two, obviously, it's family business, it's legacy, it's heritage. And I wanted something that was proudly Zambian. So again, coming back to my roots. And I was like, okay. And then I moved to the sportswear. And sportswear was the pivot during the pandemic, but I didn't even think about sportswear when I first started fashion design. I was creating suits at the time because that was the fashion. I mean, in the 2000s, everyone would go to the club in blazers like this, you know? So I was like, well, if I can do them in chitenge, this is my way of paying homage to family business, but also to what the public wants. So I was just having a normal life. Like I just wanted to come back home and really show life here. But then during the pandemic, it forced me to say, okay, if you were stripped of everything, and we all were at the time, I was like, what is my essence? Like, who am I? And I was like, I'm creative, I design, and I'm a healthy person. But during the pandemic, I was like, oh, you're diabetic, you're going to die with COVID. And I'm like, I'm fine, actually. I'm actually fine. As long as I keep my face covered and I'm not touching things unnecessarily, I was fine. I didn't catch COVID until near the end, and even then, hardly any symptoms. But during that time, I realized everyone was moving towards health and wellness, because everyone's trying to work from home. And they're like, you can't just be sitting at your desk. But there was also a movement towards athleisure, etc. So I was like, okay, if I'm going to create sportswear, I've been at the gym my whole life. Why have I not created sportswear? It just made sense. So suddenly, as I started going inwards, I realized the center was always diabetes. And then everything was outside. I've just been moving more and more inside. And then now, with the sportswear, I was like, well, we're going to do chitenge sportswear. That makes sense. If we're doing chitenge suits, there's no one else doing this. And you have such a heritage, and you have such a creative mindset. And also, you want to celebrate women with curves, because these are the ones who have health issues. But we don't talk about it, because again, there's a stigma. And in communities of color, we don't talk about it. So if we have something that celebrates them and wants to get them motivated, it made sense. And then that's how then the wellness came about, because I'm like, why am I doing all of this? It's because of this. So now when I look back, the diabetes was always the diabetes wellness was the reason why. So now I can look back and say, 20 years ago, I started modeling and I've managed to do this. So that I have testimony for another generation. So when I see my nieces or any kids, I don't want them to go through what I went through, where I had to hide, or not even I had to hide, but not talk about it, because I just didn't have anyone else who understood. So my ethos is like, teamwork make the dream work. If I can make everyone not feel what I felt, I mean, I wouldn't be here if I didn't go through that. But that's what most entrepreneurs or leaders have to go through. This is true. I've had to design a whole life because of the diabetes, whereas most people we have to survive a life. I don't want you to survive, I want you to thrive. So diabetes has taught me a lot, and I'm trying to share those learnings, because sometimes a lot of learnings can only happen through life, through time. Time will only tell certain things. So I feel blessed to be here 35 years later with diabetes. I'm like,
it's been 35 already? I've been doing this for this long?
Exactly. But it's now I understand, when grandparents and parents tell us, you learn things as you go with time. I'm like, I get it now, So sometimes some things which we feel have come to test us, and we think it's in a bad way, actually have come to bless us. And we don't see it. we don't see it. Some things happen in our lives for a bigger cause. And so that's why we have to trust the process, trust the destination. And it's been hard. I'm not saying it's been easy. I can say all of this nicely, but I mean, there's some moments where I'm just like,
I was actually going to ask you to say, do you ever feel like, oh, I'm tired, I don't want to do this again?
Yeah, I felt that yesterday, this weekend.
Oh, wow.
It happens to me all the time. It's just times where, because, you know, I just want to see the world a better place. And I just want those around me to be healthy and healthier. And, you know, because I've done it for so long, and I'm like, I've done it, why can't we all but everyone has their own time. And the world has its own time, and business markets have their own time. So as much as I can push maybe clothing brand or whatever it is that I'm doing, like wellness talks, in Zambia it's a little bit slower than that. But maybe in the West they get it, but they don't understand the African mindset. So that's why sometimes I'm like, I already see it. I'm 10 years ahead of the curve. I see it.
I've seen this. I got this. But
Yeah. And then there's times where my body's just tired. I mean, I'm mentally tired or I'm emotionally tired. And I have to give myself grace because I've done the work, I've eaten correctly, or I've slept well. And sometimes life just doesn't match you at that time. You have to let life just happen and trust that. And it's tough when you're a person who wants to see results.
Yeah.
Because my body has forced me to see results. So, but again, I keep saying, because of the diabetes, or because of any limitation that we get, you call it a limitation, but it's not a limitation. Sometimes it's come to sharpen you.
Yeah, actually make you even
better.
Get to your greater stage.
100%.
There is one thing that I will ask from you though. I know most of you be thinking, oh, she's going to ask for the feet, the wellness feet. No. I just want a book, because I came across a video of hers where you were reading the story of a blue beetle. And I want that book. Yeah, I said it. I want the book.
So his name is Jebby. Jebby is a jelly bean. And the reason I called him Jebby, so it's a book I wrote myself.
I just want that.
He's the cutest little thing. Like, honestly, he's like me as a little, like, if I had a baby, that would be my baby.
The jelly bean.
The little jelly bean, because he's got big glasses. And I didn't get these glasses until later. So all my nieces at home, they're like, you have Jebby's glasses. And I'm like, oh yeah, I didn't realize that. You got quick on that one. So I created a really simple, easy book because I felt like there was so much confusion in the world. So as much as I was creating it for the adult, I was also creating for my inner child. Because the inner me, the baby me, wanted someone or something, or just a sign from the world to say, I see you.
Yeah. So
I created this little jelly bean, and why I say he's called Jebby is because a child won't be able to say jelly bean.
No.
So they say Jebby.
Jebby.
It's just quick. So he's a little jelly bean, and he gets diagnosed with diabetes, and he's with this old family of jelly beans, which is me with my big fat Indian family. And he goes through the forest, and he needs a blood checker, he needs an insulin pen, and he goes through different characters in just the simplest of forms, not the new ones where we've got sensors and he just goes through the simple basics. And at the end of it, more than anything, it's a story of empowerment, how he had to go out, find out information about himself so he can share with his family. So then his family can then now go and share with others, and they can understand him. And then that's just the first story. I've got a couple of other stories coming out slowly. But yeah, he's in my little cutie, and I want to make him into an animation. I have done one animation.
Please, because when you were reading the story, so I'm scrolling through and I see you standing with the book, and I'm like, okay, I want to hear where the story is going.
Yeah.
And so when I heard it, I said, look, even I would want to explain it better, but I wouldn't. But this book actually does, not only to me, but to a little girl who doesn't also understand what's going on with her body, which is a great thing.
I've had quite a few parents say to me that when they bought the book and they're reading it to their child, they understand more about diabetes. So as much as I was there saying it's for a child to feel accepted and empowered, the parent was like, oh, I actually learned more about it, and then about diabetes. And then all the little girls and little boys who I've met their parents have bought the book, they go around saying, I'm a Jebby. So they call, if they're a diabetic, instead of saying I am a diabetic, and it's just, as a child, it's a big word, it feels heavy.
It feels heavy, actually.
It feels heavy, you know, emotion. I really am a big believer in how we feel about a lot of things. And they all say, oh, I'm a Jebby. they start calling each other. And so even like my little nieces, whenever they see, they're on YouTube all the time. And when there's people putting sensors on or taking, they're like, oh, that's a Jebby.
That's a Jebby.
So it's become a little thing with my minions.
And I think it's a fun way of just telling people what your condition is. As a child, I wish we had tiny T-shirts now.
So trust me, I've got all the ideas in my head, the little teddy bears and everything. But I feel like again, I'm early to the curve. This was the Jebby book I wrote about 2-3 years ago. I'm going to be getting it into shops here. I'm just trying to get the right sponsorships. But the point about it's not just about. So first things first, it helps me as a child, but also as the world is growing, diabetes is one of the fastest growing conditions in the world, type 1, type 2. And in Africa, after Tanzania, Zambia is the fastest rising rate. And we don't talk about it enough. So I feel like if we're not going to talk directly about it, let's talk about it in a fun way. Let's talk about it in indirect way.
Yeah, in a hype way, where people don't have to feel like they're being,
educated, reprimanded for eating too much sugar.
People don't like that.
No, and they're not going to change their life. But if they see there's a little jelly bean, he's full of sugar and he can't have any more sugar, well, okay, let's go and learn about this. If he can do it, so can I. So it just empowers another generation in the most fun and calm way, because people don't learn by telling them what to do. So this is something I wish I had growing up. And I'm sure there's plenty of people out there who would like that. So everything I'm doing for my inner child is for the next generation.
True. And that's beautiful. That's a one way of offering service to the people and the future generation.
100%.
I have so many questions I'd like to ask you, but I am being warned of time. So because of that, I'm sad, guys. I have so many questions. Like I said, it wasn't for any of my crew.
You can have me back here. You can have me back here anytime.
Definitely, we will. Definitely. To a younger woman out there, obviously pursuing a career in modeling, and she is probably type 1 diabetic, and she's thinking this is gonna block me from getting to my full potential, or one who's taking up fitness wellness as a career path, one who wants to be a designer not only in Zambia, but they do want to eventually pursue it. And they're thinking, well, because of my condition, I can't do this. What would be your one-on-one conversation with them? Like, you know what? This is what I can tell you.
I would say to them, don't let it stop you. I would say live life fully, but do it responsibly. So diabetes will never limit you. The only person who will limit you is yourself. So if you say it's going to limit me, it's going to limit you. But if you say, you know what, I'm going to use this to make myself healthier and better and stronger and more efficient, you're going to be there. You're going to be more efficient. I mean, I use me as proof of concept. And I'm not saying everyone should be like me. Everyone should be like you, like yourself. Be you. But do it responsibly. So if you want to go and be a model, I'm not saying throw a tantrum and say, I will do this because my sugars are going to go high. Do it for yourself. Like if that means you need to be at the set 5 minutes early or 15 minutes early, do that. I'm not saying don't show it to the world, but don't give anyone any reason to hold you back, because if they hold you back, then you will hold yourself back. So get your self-concept so strong, whether you want to be a model, whether you want to be an author, whether you want to become a fitness enthusiast, you want to become an Olympian, you want to go and become the president. The Barbie movie is the best one to say this. Be who you want to be and do it wholeheartedly, but just make sure your self-concept is strong, because the world will try and move you left, right and center. And if you keep listening to the world, and I've gone through this, you will put your health second. And if you don't have your health, you don't have you, and then you can't pour into anyone else's cup. You can't provide, whether it's service or whatever it is that you want to do, that you'll be paid for in life. You won't be there to do that if you're not there for yourself. So be wholly you, live life fully, responsibly, and have a strong self-concept.
This is Visionary Corner, where dreams are uncovered, and of course, I always urge you to always get encouraged. Start your journey, regardless of what the world says. When passion meets hard work, everything works out. You have the passion. You just need to put in the work and let your story be heard. Be that person who's going to inspire somebody else. I mean, we have a JB Yeah, sitting right next to me. And obviously, I will just allow her, for those of you that are tiny JBs, youth JBs, older JBs, if you want to follow her and so that you get inspired, I'll just allow her to just give us all her handles so that you get inspired every day.
So I am on almost every platform.
Yes.
Instagram's my main one. It's by Casey, so its.by.kc is my main one. I've got a diabetes page underneath that, and I've got my sportswear page underneath that. So Casey Vaghela Sportswear, or Casey Sportswear, and Diabetes by Casey. But on TikTok, it's Kaajal Vaghela, or the Designer Diabetic. YouTube, Kaajal Vaghela KC. And what other Facebook, the Designer Diabetic, or Kaajal Vaghela.diabetes.
Nice. What's your word of advice to everybody out there who is a JB and they still don't really understand what's going on?
Be curious. Like, don't hold yourself back and think, oh, what's wrong with me? I actually say, what's wrong with the world? Why doesn't anyone understand me? Ask the questions. Be like, if someone says something, or if you feel a certain way around people, question yourself, why am I feeling this? Have they said it to me? Or am I just creating that story in my head? Ask the question. Can I come to the party? Can I drink that drink? Can I do this? But obviously you know that I can't drink that sweet drink. But if you're with people and everyone's having something and you can't have it, ask them, is there anything else that I can have? Ask the questions, because the shots you don't shoot are the shots you lose. So just when I say shoot your shot, like, be curious. Don't hold yourself back just because you think others are thinking something. Don't make the assumption. Shoot the shot. Be curious. And again, just be you.
Yeah.
Be you.
Remember to be you. Vaghela, thank you so much for making time. I know that you're a busy person, very busy, and this is a great pleasure, like I said when we're starting, to host you, to have a one-on-one conversation with you. Thank you for sharing your story with the viewers out there. We hope and trust that a lot of people are inspired.
Thank you for having me, and thank you for asking such wonderful questions and allowing me to share my story.
Thank you. And this has been Visionary Corner, proudly sponsored by Mount Mary Millers, in conjunction with Molly Kumar. I've been your host, Rebecca Gombe. Until next time, it's bye-bye. Stay blessed and stay tuned to Millennium TV.